In this video, we are doing an unboxing. I'm going to show you all the components that I've just bought, or I've actually bought them over 2 weeks ago now, but I'm going to be doing an unboxing showing you exactly what I bought and what is going in there. The only thing missing is my graphics card because I ordered it through a different company. If you want to know how I managed to get all these parts, even though there's a shortage in the world of component parts, especially computer stuff, I will stick a link up there. So you can click on that link up there. I think it's up there, might be up there. And also in the video description, I will stick a link in there of the video I've already made of how I managed to get all these components. And I do believe you might even be able to get a graphics card if you follow my advice on how I got all these components. So like I said, this video is basically just the unboxing, and then I will be doing another video of the actual build, so keep an eye out for that. So with that, I better get on with it. Looking forward to it, baby, looking forward to it. This video is sponsored by Sahara Gaming. They really do believe you shouldn't have to pay a premium for all your computer components, whether it be a computer case, fans with RGB lighting on it, microphones, anything like that. They do believe that you should not have to pay a premium for them products. This is why they are here, to try and bring the prices down. Check them out in the video description. Right, the invoice tells you what you got. So motherboard, CPU, memory, and there is a cooler in there as well. I added the cooler after I pre-ordered all the other stuff. I thought I might as well get the cooler there because it's about the same price, didn't matter where I bought it from. So with that, let's get her open, shall we? Oh yeah. One of the things they do is they pre-build it for you, as you can see. But it all is all brand new. They put a heatsink on it to test it, I'll take it. That will be coming off. Right, so I've got everything out of the box, and what we're going to do now is talk about some of the features you get with it, like the leads and that. Talk about some of the other little bits you get with it as well, and then we're going to concentrate on some of the features of the motherboard. I'm not going to go into great detail, but I'm just going to give you some basic information on the overall of this motherboard. So with that, let's get on with it. So first things first, this is a CPU box. Obviously it's empty because it's already been installed, but comes with a little box. I wasn't expecting anything like that, but there you go. And the RAM stick box. So this is the original retail box. Again, wasn't expecting that, was expecting some sort of plastic or maybe, but there you go. So yeah, they're all pre-installed, as you can see. They feel very nice actually. So that is my 64 gig of RAM. Get out of the way. Quickly go through some of the information, warranty, stuff like that, user manual, and this is a quick guide manual, which can be very handy. Yeah, quick start guide, yeah, probably just glance over that. Some sort of card, Republic of Gaming, I like that in bod. Some stickies, we like stickies. I won't be using any stickies, but I like to keep hold of them. A little table mat for your cup of tea. Oh yeah, I've got a cup of tea. Get away. So time to gear up. A CD or DVD, DVD actually. Oh, there's a sticky in there as well. DVD. I might look at that actually. I haven't got a DVD installed in there, and I haven't got a CD installed, but I do have an external one. Some update notifications and something else. Probably health and safety. Yeah, safety information. There you go. So get all that out of the way. Right, let's talk about some of the cables in. So we have a quick connect. So this helps you to connect all your little tiny leads that are connected to your case. So it makes it really easy, like the hard drive light. So when it flashes, reset, stuff like that. You can put them all on here first, and then you can put all them onto there, because it can be a bit fiddly sometimes. So that makes it really easy. So get that out of the way. We have an antenna for your Wi-Fi. and I will be connecting that. Not today, because we're just going to do unboxing and we're going to do a test to see if she starts up all right. So yeah, so Wi-Fi, that's for your Wi-Fi. One's come out. I took this one out because I didn't know what it was. I thought, oh, what's that then? This is an extender. It's a cable extender. So it's for your RGB basically. So it's a 4-pin connection. And if you need a longer cable, you've got one. That's what that's for. So we have your SATA connections, your hard drives basically. These are, what's that, a pack of 4? There's 4 in there, so 4 of them. I probably won't be using them. I've got some already in there, so I might as well use them. And there's nothing wrong with them. And this is a RGB cable for your RGB lighting in your fan. Very nice. And then we have these little screws here. And the reason they give you these little screws is for if you're using an M.2, this baby that's under here, you will need these. So I will be using them. I'm not going to use the ones I've already got in my other computer. I'm going to leave that alone, take the hard drive out there and stick it in there. So with that, let's get on with the actual building. So if you're going to build a computer, you should do it like this. Make sure you've already put your processor in. If you've got a fan like this, your fan on. Like I said, this will be coming off and I will be replacing it with a heatsink. This is the wrong product. I ordered a water cooled product and they sent this, and I contacted them and said, you gave me the wrong heatsink. I wanted water cooled. I paid for water cooled. Where is it? And they checked and they forgot to send it. So they put this on so they could test it because they don't run a water cooled system for it. So that's why they don't. I said, well, what do you want me to do with that? And said, you can keep it. You probably need it one day. Who knows? So fair enough. So guess what? It's the water cooled one. It's actually in there. It turned up a couple of minutes ago, so I'm really pleased about that. So we have 64 gig of RAM. We have water cooled eventually when we get to it. Let's have a go with the top then. Hope you can see that okay. So we have 8 10-pin connections there. We only need 8 to connect your power supply for your processor in there. And if you're doing a serious overclocking, which is what this one's for, you can plug in more power. So it gives you up to 10. Is that 10? 12, sorry, 12. 12 even. So that's what that's for. We have a clock which tells you what's going on. If you get any errors, you can read the clock and it would tell you exactly what is going on. You have 3 different types of connections for your processor, one of them being a water cooled monitor, which I will probably be using, and the others are for fans of different types and that, depending on whether you've got RGB and all that stuff. So that is that. And then we have on-off button, so you can test it just by going to see whether or not it works. A reset button, again, get any errors, you can just do reset. This is for your main power, and this is the power to the actual motherboard itself. Like I said, I'm not going to go through everything, I'm just going to go through the basics. We have USB type 3 connection now, which is the USB that you have on the front of your case normally, and then we have 8 SATA connections. These are for your hard drives. I'll probably be using about 4 of them, maybe 5, I'm not sure. And then down the bottom you have some more fan headers, and this is your main panel connection. So all the cables that are connected to your case will plug into this little baby over here, your panel connections. That's why you need that little thing, because it can be a bit fiddly, especially once it's in the case. And then we have a slow mode. Never used a slow mode, but the way it works is, you know, when you're first starting up a computer and it's going through its diagnostics and all that, and it's a little bit too fast for you to see what's going on, flick a switch over and it slows everything down. Yeah, so that's really good. So we have a USB connection here. What's that one? That's a no connection. I'm not sure if I've ever used that one before. This is a fan connection. This is for your heatsink, or this baby over here, what you're using right now. So this would be for the fan, because it would be RGB. So that will go in there. So, if I can get it back in. So, and 4-pin connection for your RGB there. And then we have, right, if your computer is in trouble and it keeps crashing for whatever reason, you can do a safe boot or retry button. The retry button will try and restart it with the settings you've already got without Windows finding out that you've had a crash. That is the theory behind that one. I've never used anything like that, but that's, hopefully I won't need that. We have a jumper, so if something seriously goes wrong, we can swap them over and reset it. But there are buttons on there we can do that with as well. That is, I believe that is for your audio. So if you've got an audio connection, you can connect it to that. And then we have an M.2. So this will be the main one. So I will put my M.2 in there. I have a fast M.2 and it's underperforming at the moment because it hasn't got the motherboard speed to cope with it. And this under here will be for another M.2 if you need to connect another one. But it won't be as fast as that one, from what I understand. We have a fan to try and keep it all cool, which should be really nice. And I will probably be using this slot for my graphics card. You have a choice of 3, although I think these 2 are faster than the third one. I think that's how it works. Battery for your storage or backup of your settings and all that. And then onto the side. So like I said earlier, we have some options here. This is for a BIOS update. And the way that works is, if you're going to do a BIOS update, you have to put it in this baby here. And you hold that in for so many seconds. You need to check with your motherboard how long, and it will update automatically, even if you're not logged into Windows. Clear CMOS, that will reset everything. I'm not going to mess about that, but that will reset everything. Your aerial connection for your Wi-Fi will go in there. And then we have a selection of USBs, and these are all hopefully USB Type-Cs. So it should be 8 of them in total, which there is, plus you've got these 2 I believe you can use as well. And then we have a 2.5 gigabyte Ethernet connection and a 1 gigabyte Ethernet connection. And your audio connections. And a backplate. Nothing much to on the backplate really. And that is it. So like I said, I just wanted to go over it quickly, show you some of the features, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to plug in the power supply and give her a little test. So give me a few minutes while I set her up. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to quickly show you all the connections that I've made and explain to you what does what, and then we're going to start her up. So with the graphics card, I have plugged in 2 power cables because it needs 2 power cables. So that is plugged in into the power supply, and that is a 1000-watt power supply. You don't need a 1000-watt power supply. It's just that was handy. I had it to hand, so that is what I'm using. So 2 power supplies for the graphics card, a display port for my monitor, so it displays to my monitor, and this is display port. You can use display port, HDMI, whatever connections you have on your graphics card and on your monitor, you can use whatever you like. I prefer to use display port because I think that's better than HDMI, although it is getting better. We have a power connection for the processor. So that is power supply for processing. You've got a booster one there if needed. We don't need it. We have motherboard power. You will need that as well. That is plugged in. So that is all ready to go. And like I said, we are using a 1000-watt power supply, and it should be quite easy for you to know which ones to connect into what. They should all be marked up on the power supply, what's got to go in which. Also, I plugged in a USB wireless controller for the mouse and keyboard. Hopefully it should work all right. I'm not 100% sure on that one because I've never used it on a BIOS, on a startup. We will find out. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to power on and see what happens. Right, so we have RGB running and we have a startup light. So basically all I've got to do is press that. So the heat sink's running with the fan, graphics card's running, and also the RGB for the RAM is running. So far looking good. Don't worry about that shutting off. It just means it's not up to temperature. It looks quite good, doesn't it? So we need to see that, and there you go. So that's come up straight away. is my, oh, it is working of a sort, it wants adjusting. Now, I wasn't sure if this is going to work, but it gives you a basic idea of what's going on. So you can use the keyboard, you don't have to use a mouse to navigate through. I'm just having a quick look. So we have DDR4 running at 3200 Hertz, which is very nice. And I didn't do any of these settings. These were all pre-done beforehand when they test it. Target CPU speed is 34 or 3400. We will see if we can overclock that at some stage, to look out for a video for that. So yeah, everything is running. So what I'm going to do now is turn it off. And that is it. So that is the end of that. So the next part of this video, or the next video, is I'm going to be installing this into my computer. If this is your first time, I recommend you take the graphics card off before you install it, all right? Because that graphics card is quite heavy. And that's not even the newer ones, that's one of the old ones. So take the graphics card off first. You can install the RAM, the processor and that. If they're the ones you're going to be using, you can leave them on the motherboard. It will save a lot of time, and then just put them on. Oh, actually, yeah, the next video actually will be me putting the heatsink on. I'm going to be taking that heatsink off, and I will be putting a water-cooled heatsink on and doing the install inside the computer. So keep an eye out for that one. So with that, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. Please subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. Yeah, baby, it works.